What is up, everybody? Back on another video, man. And today we're gonna be reacting to I put up on my ops at basketball tryouts animated story by Devontae the One. Let's get into it.
So I put every ounce of energy I had into that one shot. We all had a favorite sport growing up. My main four was skateboarding, wrestling, basketball, and football. What was yours? My first love, despite my height, was basketball because during my childhood, I always dreamed of being in the NBA because of my two inspirations, 2008 Chicago Bulls Derrick Rose, and 2012 Chicago Bulls.
What was it? D-Rose.
Nate Robinson. Now, not gonna lie, in my elementary and middle school days, I was doo-doo brown water. Trash. Actually bad. Nigga, I had Flight Reacts' premium deluxe exclusive package. I was a 55 overall with 0 badges. During them years, the only thing I was good for was popping threes anywhere on the court. I was like Steph Curry, but without the skill and the height. I couldn't dribble. I couldn't make layups. My basketball IQ was terrible. I was so bad that the only playtime I got was the last 30 seconds of the 15-minute games we played at practices. I was so bad that I averaged negative 20 points per game. How do you average negative 20 points per game? I need to retire. But with my burning passion for winning and my undeniable will to never give up after taking so many L's over the years, despite my height, 5'6", by the time I got to high school, I became extraordinary at the sport over time. And I also played football at the time, so that helped out too. Every L, every embarrassment, every discouragement led to me sharpening my skills even more. There's nothing more satisfying than playing a sport that isn't made for you and still being not built different, but being built actively superior. But see, here's the thing. I tried out for the basketball team 6 times throughout my childhood. 2 times in middle school when I was still terrible, and 4 times in high school after becoming built actively superior. However, despite being actively superior over everyone over time when I got to high school, I never made any of the teams because of 3 things. Favoritism, my bad first impression from middle school that stuck with me up until high school, and the bane of my existence, anxiety. If you experience this, you know how I feel. Anxiety was the one thing that limited me in every aspect of my life. I really can't say much about middle school, but during the end of high school, when it came to playing some randoms in PE class that were actually good, I dominated. I was a great player. But at actual tryouts, I was always in my head because of the past traumatic L's I took. The sheer lack of confidence in my abilities on real teams because of my anxiety were the sole reasons why at majority of the tryouts, I was still a terrible player. I worried more about trying to not mess up the drills than I did trying to actually do the drills correctly. I worried more about trying to look like I knew what I was doing than just doing it by nature. I don't know, bruh. I just couldn't tap into that same actively superior ability from PE class when I got to tryouts. I struggled with this from the time I walked onto a middle school court and up to the time I walked off a high school court for the very last time. My most memorable tryout of the 6 was the 3rd ever basketball tryouts. I remember it was 9th grade year, I was 15, and all summer I had been sharpening my skills after 2 years of embarrassment. I was chilling outside the building, and before I went inside the gym, I thought I was in my bag. I found out real quick that high school basketball was way different than what I was used to at the time. Bruh, I felt like a lucky college player fresh into the NBA with no prior NBA knowledge. I walked inside and I saw this one annoying nigga named AZ that made my early school years a struggle. Like, I've known this dude since 4th grade, and AZ was the type of person that would do anything at any cost just to make himself look good around other people. Like, he was the loudest person in the room. He always picked on people that were easy targets and were not his size. Anybody that didn't know how to roast back, anybody that didn't know how to fight, anybody that didn't have a status, anybody that was smaller or weaker than him, you name it, he went for it. Not even 30 seconds after I walked inside, the first thing I hear from him was, "You might as well take your ass home. You don't belong here." And for a split second, I played tug of war with my nerves like, should I ignore it or rip this nigga's lungs out his chest? You got lucky this time. So after the stretches and free hooping, coach walks in like, let's go. We're gonna call him Coach Taylor. Now, honestly, I ain't like Coach Taylor, but that's for another story. He walked in, gathered everybody together, did the roll call for everybody, and tells everybody to get ready for running and drills. And for all my people out there that are watching this and are thinking about trying out, take notes on what I'm about to say. In basketball tryouts, at first, what the coach looks for is, are you coachable? Are you able to do the basics successfully, like layups, passings, anything of that nature? And most importantly, can you do basic defense? Secondly, are you good at the game in an actual game versus just doing the drills right? That's why coaches after drills and runnings always be doing 5-on-5s just to test that theory. Most people see those 5-on-5s as just 5-on-5s, but don't be fooled. Those tryout 5-on-5s are just an indirect way for the coaches to predetermine who's already going to be on the team. If you do great on a 5-on-5, you might as well just pick up a jersey because you already on the team, my boy. Before we started the 5-on-5, we did layup and defense drills. We all got in the line. I was confident, calm, and collected. The only thing that was on my mind was don't mess up, just lay up the ball and keep it pushing. So when I got to the front of the line, bruh passed me the ball and I ran down the court. So many eyes was staring at me because of my middle school days, because they were the same boys I went to the middle school with, and I hated every single one of them. When it came to the judgment of basketball skill, they were cutthroat. Hey, I don't gangbang, but these dudes were technically my ops. Even so, I ain't let nothing bring me down. So I get to the hoop and I lay up the ball.
He missed.
I missed the freaking layup.
I knew it.
Forgive me, Guy Sensei. How do you train for 3 months and still can't make a layup? Bruh, my anxiety shot up to the roof. The pain I felt running back to that line was something I'll probably never forget, because the moment I missed that layup, I had flashbacks to middle school when the same thing happened. For the rest of the drills, my whole body was shaking and I was in my head. Like I said before, I was worried more about not trying to mess up the drills than I did actually trying to do the drills correctly. All the niggas I went to middle school with looked at me like, some things don't change, do they? And Coach Taylor was disappointed. And after that, it was like a domino effect. I did horrible in defense drills, the playmaking drills, the pull-up jumper drills, everything after. It was most definitely torture. And that same anxiety and chain of mess-ups carried all the way into the 5-on-5s. Crunch time. Of course, on my team, I got picked last, but honestly, I didn't care at that point because it was clear as day that I wasn't gonna make it. But this was my last chance to fight my anxiety and show Coach the real progress I made over the summer. Team 3, you up? My anxiety was still the size of a planet, but it was my time to shine and I ain't have no time to waste. I was shaking like a wet dog at a pool party because I knew I had to do something spectacular to the ops before I left there with the element of surprise. A pull-up jumper on the ops, an ankle breaker on the ops maybe. I gotta pull something out the bag. Shoot, they already think I'm garbage when I'm not. I'm just in my head. I get on that court and we start the game with a full court press, and I ain't gonna lie, nobody passed the ball to your boy for about a good 5 minutes. I was about one step away from just walking off the court, because at this point, I'm just prolonging the inevitable and wasting my time, because I knew well that I'm already cut from the team until somebody actually passed me the ball. When I tell you that in the 5 seconds that I had the ball in my hand, I've never panicked so hard in my life. I had two choices, either pass the ball or pull up on the ops from the 3-point line. I went with the catch and shoot jumper, but I was losing my mind because I knew if I missed this shot, I would never get the ball passed to me again and would have to retire for good. So I put every ounce of energy I had into that one shot.
Yeah.
I really pulled up on the ops at basketball practice. I may have made that one shot during tryouts, but a week later, I got cut from the roster. That same day, I went home and I cried my eyes out in my dad's arms because I really wanted to just be on an official
bro.
basketball team for once in my life.
Pain.
Every year after that I tried out, I got better and better, dominating everybody at the local basketball gym and PE class. But the same anxiety cycle that destroyed my gameplay whenever I tried out for an actual team repeated every year. And I suffered getting cut from the team every year because of it. If you're somebody out there watching this that deals with anxiety of any kind like I do, here's a tip that I've been using ever since my first year of college to free myself of this anxiety. Constantly put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Whatever causes that anxiety that you're feeling, put yourself in it and fight it to build that confidence so that same anxiety that once ruled your life will slowly leave. Because remember this, pressure makes diamonds. See, anxiety is like a bully. It'll continue to torment you until you put your foot down and stand up for yourself. Only difference between anxiety and a real bully is that anxiety don't got no body to fight you with them hands. It's all in the mind, y'all, which if trained properly is the strongest asset we have. I'd rather have a strong mind than a strong body. So remember, constantly put yourself in uncomfortable situations, no matter how uncomfortable it feels, so that you can train your mind to overcome that anxiety. Because remember, pressure makes diamonds. Wait. That was years ago. If you want the word now, holla at me.
Hey, but that's gonna be the end of the video, bro. Like, comment, subscribe, and we out, bro.